Deep Dive with David Stendahl, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey there, it's David Stendahl with tonight's Deep Dive. It is March 6th, 2019, and tonight I'm going to talk about Australian dollar, the ETF being CROC because the systems are short. That's what the inverse ETF's all about. Now, yesterday or last night, I talked about the Canadian dollar. It's kind of a similar setup, and so that's what I talked about yesterday with Canadian dollar occurred, and now we're looking at a similar scenario here with Australian dollar. So it's been in a trading range, and the trends in this case are all pointing to the downside, and the technical rating is pointing to the downside, which is a little bit different from the setup that occurred yesterday for the Canadian dollar. The support level is really what we're going to be talking about, and that's kind of similar also to what was discussed with last night in the Canadian. So here's Australian dollar. These are the futures, not the Forex. This is that strong support level that we have here. There's kind of a disconnect here. We have a 14 here with this support and then a 38 right there. They're basically connected. It's just that there was a little bit of a hiccup in between, and that's the level, if we kind of span across, that we're basically at right now and approaching. So 70.59, you can see we're at 70.34, so we broke below this threshold right there. There's nothing holding this, and we'll see that this is more than 3 ATRs away, that the next level is down at this level, which is at 68.87 on the Australian, and we're in the March contract, so just bear in mind that things will be switching around a little bit. So if we actually go to the website one more time here, obviously you've seen that the trend is to the downside, the technical rating is to the downside. This is that support level that we're addressing and really taking a look at. If we take a look at the targets here, this from yesterday's action, we've broken through this level, so that's a strong one, the one that I was just referring to. The strength is 273. That's really strong support. There was 9 different support levels when you look at the 120-minute, the dailies, and the weeklies, and you're looking at all of them coming together, where it's coming up with an average. That's where the 77 comes from here, right through there. But the fact that we broke below that threshold, now you can see that we've got blue lines here, and there are 3 ATRs away, but there's nothing that's 3 ATRs away other than that one key support. That's where it gets kind of scary, if you're trading that particular market, that this is a market that when it doesn't have any support to it, it can go into free fall. Hence the reason I'm addressing the Australian dollar and kind of what I was talking about last night with the Canadian dollar. So just as an update, we're still short the Canadian dollar. We've got 2 systems that are short, still short the Canadian dollar as well. So Australian and Canadian are short. We're net hedged here in the dollar index, and we've got a short position here together, and we got a nice open position profit in the euro. But between the Canadian dollar and the Australian dollar, both are short, and both have open positions that have the potential, we come back to the chart here, that depending upon how things kind of play out here, if it's able to recover and come back above that, even though I think that it looks like there's a lot of weight behind this, I would suspect that the fact that we're in this consolidation that's been going on here for a while, that once you start building up a little momentum behind things, that it can really start to fall. So that the lower threshold right through here, the 68.87 level right through there, that's going to be the major target. And again, it's not even showing up on my targets because it's fairly far away. That's why I'm addressing it. So with that being the case, we will kind of end it there, and I just want you to know that I will be traveling to Florida tomorrow to give a presentation on Friday, and so there's not going to be any video updates for a couple of days, and I'll be returning mid next week, and so I won't be doing any videos because I won't be in my office, but I'll continue to post things on the the website. I'll obviously be continuing to update when I'm able on the specifically for the Twitter account. So I'll still keep people up to date, but I just won't be looking at any particular markets on the video blog here for a couple of days. And then when I return, I'll be talking a little bit more about Signal Central, because there's some really cool things that we're adding into that particular program. And once I do get back, then I have a long list of different types of workshops that I'm going to be doing, or webinars. And so the webinar series are going to begin now that I'm close to completing a couple things with a couple of different projects, and specifically with my travels here, that when we get into the latter weeks here in March, I'll start to do some more weekly webinars here, and we'll get back on cycle. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.